produced what many still call the greatest team in history. England's lone triumph arrived at 1996 FIFA World Cup, where Geoff Hurst's controversial Wembley goal against West Germany remains one of the tournament's most debated moments. The 1970s blended flair with force. Total football orchestrated by Johan Cruyff defined 1974 FIFA World Cup, though West Germany claimed the trophy. 4 years later, Argentina lifted their first title on home soil in 1978 against the same opponent amid political tension. Mario Kempes was a main man for Argentina. In the 1980s, the World Cup had become theater. The genius and controversy of Diego Maradona dominated the 1986 FIFA World Cup. Within 4 minutes against England, he scored both the infamous hand of God and the goal of the century. It was football's paradox in human form. From 13 teams in 1930 to a global spectacle watched by billions, the World Cup evolved into more than sport. It became culture, politics, identity, and memory stitched into 90-minute chapters. As 2026 approaches, the echoes of Montevideo, Maracanã, Wembley, and Mexico City remind us the World Cup doesn't just crown champions, it defines eras.
So that's a brilliant 3-minute deep dive into the World Cup through the years, and it's a fascinating story. The World Cup started as small competition in 1930. Look at what it has become. In 2026, it will be hosted by 3 countries. I remember when we first heard the World Cup will be hosted by 2 countries. Ray, you remember?
Yeah.
Japan, Korea. Hey, 2 countries. How are they going to host the World Cup in 2 countries? But they've hosted the World Cup. And Africa got a chance to host the World Cup in 2010. And Prince, you played in that World Cup in 2010. How did you feel like being on home soil, on the African continent, and then seeing the rest of the world in South Africa?
I think it was a great achievement for Africans because having the World Cup being played in Africa was a big thing. Everybody was hoping that maybe an African country can, for once, maybe win the trophy, but it couldn't happen. But I'm just happy how far, the Blaster was able to reach in the tournament.
Yeah, quarterfinal.
It's very credible, yeah.
Wonderful. We'll get into some more of your experiences at the World Cup. I'll get your thoughts on the current Black Stars and maybe what they can achieve at the World Cup. But as we are getting ready for the 2026 World Cup in US, Canada, and Mexico, it's not been easy. A few days ago, everything was fine, and then all kinds of stories started to emerge. If you go to Mexico, they've done arrests and shootings and all of that. In the Middle East, everything's all over the place. Instead of shaking hands, countries are throwing bombs at each other. And Mexico is experiencing major issues in terms of gang violence, right? In terms of gang violence, it's not been an easy time for Mexico at all. Every day you tune in, there's something happening in that country. And as I said, they've experienced episodes of gang violence. I caught up with a local journalist, Alonso Cabral. Alonso Cabral is with Fox Sports Latin America. And I sat down with him, or I put him on a call to talk about the World Cup, to talk about Mexico's part of hosting the World Cup. Okay? And the very first question I asked Alonso as we had our conversation was a question concerning whether or not Mexico will be able to host the World Cup. In the face of everything that is happening, gang violence, arrests, and all of that, the first question I asked him was whether or not Mexico would be able to host the World Cup, despite all the security challenges that the country was facing.
Yes, Mexico is ready. I know there have been violence in Guadalajara, especially one of the host cities for the World Cup, but everything now is back to normal. What happened was that Mexico's government caught and killed Mexico's and U.S. most wanted cartel leader a couple of weeks ago. So his people reacted with violence on the streets. Fortunately, there were no civilians wounded. There were no civilians injured. And the government caught him. So that's what happened in Guadalajara specifically. There were problems. Yes, of course, there was a lot of violence, but fortunately, everything now is back to normal. And yes, we can say we are ready to host our third World Cup. That's what the government is confident. It's what they are saying. That's what FIFA knows. And in Mexico, we are used to live with the cartels. Unfortunately, it's been a problem for a few years now, but there is no violence with the civilians. So we are ready. We know there won't be any trouble, any violence during the World Cup, and Guadalajara will be happy to receive the World Cup, Monterrey and Mexico City, of course. We even had Shakira playing in front of 400,000 people in Mexico's main square, El Zócalo. That's in downtown Mexico City, and they all had a lot of fun. There wasn't any trouble, any problem. Shakira sang along with 400,000 Mexicans in El Zócalo. So we'll have a party, we'll have a big fiesta in Mexico next World Cup. I know you guys play in Canada and the USA, but you will be very, very welcome. We'll have a friendly game before the World Cup with you, so you'll be very, very welcome in Mexico during the World Cup. And don't worry, there will be no troubles, there will be no problems, and we are ready to host the World Cup.
Very well, Alonso. Tell me, do you think that fans in Mexico still believe that the country should still go ahead and host the 2026 World Cup?
About hosting the World Cup for the third time, I know it's a difficult time for Mexico because of cartel themes and violence issues. But, let's put it this way. In Mexico, we know how to live with that violence. Unfortunately, it's been a few years since we have been through this, and it's not against the civilians. Also, there have been a lot of major events in Mexico City during the last years. There was, as I said, the Shakira playing. There are concerts constantly in Mexico City, Guadalajara, Monterrey, the three host cities, the three most important Mexican cities. And everything goes normal. Nothing happens when there are concerts, festivals, Formula One Grand Prix in Mexico City. There was a tennis open, an ATP tennis open last week in Acapulco. So as I said, there is no problem. We are very, very happy to host the World Cup. We are very, very excited about playing in the Azteca Stadium, in the Guadalajara Stadium and the Monterrey Stadium, and we'll have a party. I'm pretty sure that the Mexicans will have a big fiesta, and everybody from outside our country will be very, very welcome. Yes, we are excited. Of course, we are worried. Of course, we don't want to live like this anymore, but it's not everywhere. It's in some parts of the country, specifically outside major cities. So I know the government will control violence during the World Cup days, and I know it won't be an issue. What happened last week was something big because they caught somebody very important in the cartel world, the most important rock leader. So that was what happened.
Finally, you've spoken a lot about the environment, the setting, what the country is like, and the readiness to host the World Cup. What about the expectations from a footballing side? What do people expect of the Mexican national team? Or what do people believe will be success in terms of the 2026 World Cup from the standpoint of the Mexican national team?
We're expecting to have a good tournament. There have been a lot of critics. Last World Cup wasn't good for us. Actually, it was the worst since 1994. So we are expecting big things. We want to get to the quarterfinals. That will be a great result for Mexican national team. There are a few players who played abroad in Mexico. someone like Raúl Jiménez, who plays in Fulham in England, Edson Alvarez, who plays in Turkey. So we have a few players that can have a very good tournament, and we are very well, let's say we're expecting to have a good tournament. I know Mexico is not among the favorites, but being a host, that gives us an advantage. Mexicans aren't that into national Mexican team because of the last results, especially the one I said in Qatar. And there are a lot of questions, yes, but once the World Cup begins, everybody will go and cheer for the national team. That's what happens every 4 years in Mexico. During the 4-year period, everybody questions and criticizes the national team and says that everything is bad in football. But during the World Cup, everybody puts on their green shirts and cheers for Mexican team. We have a very strong opposition against South Africa, against South Korea, and one European team who will be named after the qualification rounds this month. But I'm pretty sure that Mexico will go through the group phase, and that we'll have a very, very good tournament for us. So yes, we're very excited. Yes, we're very happy to host our third World Cup. And I mean, it's been a pleasure talking to you guys. In Ghana, I know you will have a great tournament also. You have a strong national team. And amigos de Sporty FM, you will be very, very welcome to Mexico's US and Canada World Cup in 2026. We're expecting you. I hope you visit Mexico. I hope you have a great time on this part of the planet, and that we'll have a lot of fun. And let's make it a good tournament. It's 100 days to go. Así que bienvenidos, amigos de Ghana, a México. Gracias, amigos de Sporty FM, for giving me the chance of talking to you. Big hug, Nathan. Big hug to Gary also. Gracias. Abrazo.
Yeah, so that was Alonso Cabral. He's with the Fox Sports Latin America, and he shared his thought with me from Mexico City, right? That's Mexico's capital. That is where the very first game of the World Cup will be played. It is Mexico versus South Africa. Now, where have we heard that game before? Yes, in 2010, the opening game of that particular World Cup. Yes, Shabalala scoring. South Africa thought they were going to win the game until Mexico struck late on to get themselves a point. But let me know, you've listened to Alonso Cabral, you've been following the news, you've heard the things in the US, the Middle East, Mexico. Do you think the World Cup should still happen? If yes, why? If no, why? Let me send me a message. Let me hear from you. 054 257 1061. 054 257 1061. This is Sporty FM. This is the Sporty Breakfast. This is Sporty Road to 26. Now, despite all of that, the World Cup has given us absolutely brilliant memories. We'll get to some of the harder stuff in a second. But if you've forgotten what the World Cup sounds like, or feels like, or tastes like, or even you've forgotten some of the goals that have been scored in the history of the World Cup, let me remind you. Let me give you a few goals to whet your appetite, and then we get back to the harder matters of Sporty Road to 26.
Forcing Lazovic back and finding Richarlison!
in a second. But that's just a taster. That's just what the World Cup has given us. So you had goals from Richarlison from the last World Cup, Diego Forlan from 2010, Mbappe from 2022. Wonderful stuff. All of that happening, okay? But, you know, talking about memories and all, let's go back to the year 1994. Yes, 32 years ago, the Americans got to host the world for the very, very, very first time. This was when football had been in America for a bit, but they decided that, you know what, let us try to host the 1994 World Cup. And the Americans took up that burden of hosting the rest of the world. 24 teams made it to the US. In the end, it was Brazil who walked away with that particular trophy. I bet you didn't know that Africa had 3 teams there. Nigeria was there, Cameroon and Morocco, who, strangely, both of them did not make it to that year's AFCON, but they made it to the World Cup. Let's take you back to 1994. I don't know how old some of you were back in 1994, but let's take you back to USA 1994. For people of my generation, that was the very first World Cup we saw and we could appreciate. Let's go stateside. Let's go back 32 years to the magic that happened in the United States.
Glory land, in glory land.
This is the biggest sporting event in the world, the World Cup 94.
To the roaring stands of the Rose Bowl. The summer of 1994 marked the moment football, or soccer, truly crashed the grand American party. This was a World Cup that dared to dream differently. The first ever hosted by the United States, a nation built on basketball, baseball, and American football, now welcoming the world's greatest sporting spectacle. Many doubted it, some even ridiculed it, but by the time the final whistle blew, USA 94 had changed the game forever. This was when football met soccer.
With a hunger in your heart.
Giant NFL stadiums were replaced by traditional football grounds. More than 3.5 million fans poured through the gates, making it the most attended World Cup in history. Matches kicked off under the scorching midday sun, and temperatures soaring beyond 40 degrees, all to suit European television audiences. Yet the football never slowed. The color, the noise, the sheer curiosity of it all. America turned the World Cup into a global carnival, and on the pitch, the drama was relentless.
This is the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan. 77,577 on hand to see the United States take on Switzerland. And hi, everybody, along with Seamus now.
For Africa, Nigeria arrived without fear. On their World Cup debut, the Super Eagles lit up the tournament. They stunned Bulgaria, brushed aside Greece, and topped their group with flair, freedom, and fearless attacking football.
Very good evening, everyone. Yes, it's a piping hot day, a bit windy in Boston. A full house, and I think it really is indicative of just how much the Nigerians have emerged on the world stage.
It was a bet of Nigeria's global reputation, a statement that African football had truly arrived. Their dream run nearly reached the quarterfinals, leading Italy deep into the game. Nigeria stood on the brink of history.
And here is a chance and a goal! Nigeria have scored!
But then came Roberto Baggio. 2 late goals, one in the final minutes, another in extra time, crushed African hopes and kept Italy alive.
It's a goal from Roberto Baggio, and the Italians have come from behind to take the lead. Thanks to their most gifted player.
A cruel ending, but a performance that still echoes across the continent. And Baggio was only getting started. The Italian genius carried his nation through the knockout stages, delivering moment after moment of brilliance. By the time Italy reached the final, his legend was already sealed. But football, as always, had one last twist prepared. Then there was Diego Maradona. USA 94 was his final World Cup. Once the king of football, Maradona returned amid doubts, controversy, and fading fitness. He inspired Argentina's early promise, reminding the world of his magic.
Only one man can do it, and it's Diego Armando Maradona.
But midway through the group stage, he was selected for a routine drug test. And just like that, Maradona was escorted out of the tournament. His World Cup story ended not in glory, but in heartbreak. "They have cut off my legs," he said. Football had lost one of its greatest icons. Colombia's World Cup journey in 1994 was overshadowed by controversy and tragedy. Their campaign began amid rumors of interference from powerful drug cartels, and the pressure only intensified after a shock defeat to Romania. Needing a result against the United States, Colombia instead suffered a crashing blow, an own goal by defender Andres Escobar, which handed the host a famous victory and effectively ended their tournament.
With Caligiuri overlapping on the far side, sends it inside, it's an own goal! The USA gets the score, Escobar on the own goal, and the United States leads Colombia 1-0.
Escobar responded with dignity, urging calm and perspective. But days after returning home, he was shot dead outside a nightclub in Medellin. His death sent shockwaves through the football world, turning USA 94 into a haunting reminder of the dangers that exist sometimes beyond the pitch.
That you're bound for glory.
The tournament delivered unforgettable shockwaves. Bulgaria stunned Germany, Romania dismantled Argentina, Brazil edged past the Netherlands. Everywhere you looked, history was unfolding. Then came the final.
This is the biggest sporting event in the world, the final of World Cup 94. And after a month of competition, two heavyweights rich in soccer history have emerged. It's an absolute dream matchup between Brazil and Italy for the World Cup.
Under the blazing California sun, Brazil and Italy battled through 120 tense minutes without a goal. For the first time in World Cup history, the final would be decided by penalties. As Brazil converted, Italy faltered. And when Roberto Baggio stepped forward, the weight of a nation was on his shoulders. He struck the ball and it soared over the bar.
Es Brasil campeón del mundo, el divino Roberto Baggio. Se lo pierde, se lo pierde, se lo pierde. Brasil es campeón del mundo. El error del divino. Brasil es campeón del mundo.
Brazil were champions. Baggio stood motionless. Some say he died while standing. A single kick had defined the tournament and written one of football's most haunting images. Yet beyond the trophies and tears, USA 94 left something far greater behind. It legitimized football in America. It gave birth to Major League Soccer. It inspired millions to fall in love with the game. And it's proved that football could thrive far beyond its traditional borders.
Is glory.
32 years later, as the world counts down to yet another World Cup on American soil, the legacy of 1994 stands taller than ever. Because before 2026, there was 1994 when football met soccer, and the game was never the same.
Welcome back from 1994. People should find videos of USA 94 to watch to tell you how the game has changed. We'll be going to the lines in a bit, but let me introduce our team lead, Gary Al Smith. He's in studio. Gary, how are you doing?
Doing well, thank you. Morning. Good morning and good 100 days to the World Cup to everybody.
Yes, 100 days from here or from now, the World Cup will be happening in US, Canada, and Mexico. Prince Tego is still here. We'll get it. We'll talk a bit more with Prince. Raymond Yamada is here. Yeah. Quiet, acting like a good boy, but he isn't a good boy. As for this morning, you've shown something. We'll come back to that. Let me go to the line. And it's only right that we do this call, right? For those who want to go to the World Cup, you've heard the nice story of 1994. 2026 is different gravy, and I'm sure you all want to go. So let's speak with Ernestina Abrokwa. She's the big woman of Latina Travel and Tour. She's the CEO, one of the leading agencies who are taking people from Ghana to Mexico, Canada, and the US. Now, we want to find out from her how they are handling this new context, because all of a sudden, the World Cup you are planning for has changed. All kinds of uncertainty surrounding the World Cup. Let's get some answers to this. Madam, good morning. Ernestina, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning, Gary.
How are you doing?
Good morning to your listeners.
How are you doing today?
You are doing great.
Wonderful. You are in the business of sending people to the World Cup. Tell me, how has it gone so far? You have all kinds of wonderfully put together packages for patrons, people who want to go. How has it been so far for you in terms of business?
In terms of patronage, we have received a lot from the corporate, from individuals, from sports clubs, from school families who want to travel with their young kids to experience this historic moment happening in their time. So in terms of patronage, we are blessed. And we pray that we're able to hit our target.
No, I see. Tell me, what are some of the things people usually ask when they call you and they want to find out more about the World Cup package? What are some of the most asked questions that people would throw to you as they try to plan for the World Cup?
Their fears, first of all, is whether they'll get a visa.
Okay.
That's the common. I mean, even people with a good travel history are still scared because one or two said, "Oh, I was in the embassy in October. I have all this travel experience. I've been to Spain. I've been to Europe. I've been to London, and yet I was refused." I said, "Don't worry. This is the World Cup. Let's meet the requirement." And they go and they get their visas. So everyone, nobody walks into that embassy with that confidence that, look, I'm taking this visa, I'm going. Everybody has to answer to some tough questions in the embassy and to prove themselves to the counselors that they are really going for the World Cup and nothing more, nothing less.
Okay. I mean, apart from that, are there other frequently asked questions that you get away from the visa? The visa is the most obvious one, but I guess the most difficult one. What are some of the other questions that people would usually ask you as they think about the World Cup?
Well, if I should just take the current global happenings, especially with the war that US and Israel have started.
Yeah.
And it's making people think really deep. The questions are, will this World Cup come off at all? And I said, I don't have the answers to that. We just need to pray because we've invested too much already. We've made deposits for flights, we've made deposits for hotels, we've made, we've invested already. And I can imagine some people have done more than we have, maybe. And it's a worry for everyone. I mean, if I say there's nothing worrying anyone, I'm lying. That's the truth.
Yeah, I mean, it was going to be my question, but that's a very logical thing. With all the things happening, you will be concerned. Let me ask you this. Now, even though you are not pretty sure of how things are going to play out, if somebody still calls you to say, you know what, let's put everything aside, I want to go and watch the World Cup. Can you just run us through the processes, how Latina puts everything together, or what you would do for, say, an individual or a group so that they can get to go? Take us from step one to the very end of the entire process.
Okay. So first, I try to find out who is going and what is their travel history, because I want to avoid as much as possible refusals. My reputation over the years, having handled 2010 World Cup, South Africa and Brazil, I still want to maintain my reputation. I don't want to just pick and accept anybody and present them to the embassy and get refused.
Okay.
So I'm really picky. I've been told I shouldn't, but I think it's only fair that having such experience, you would want to tell people, look, don't try this. It's not going to work. And so that's first, and then I mean that has worked so far, because so far those who have left our office for the embassy, we say about 80% get their visas, because I'm very thorough with that. And then we have then we talk about I mean, once you have travel experience, you are working, you are well spoken, you understand all that will be asked. If you can't speak English, you will have to say Tree or whichever language you can speak, just to make sure that at least you go and you get whatever you want. Your expectations, you meet your expectations. They meet the embassy, sees you as a qualified person. That's what we deal with. And then once, fortunately, the dates are open. Before it was closed. Now, even if you want to go next week, you can get dates, which is good. We pay for your visa. We pick your date for you, and then we get your match tickets. We made deposits with the GFA, so we have a large quantity of match tickets that we are using for only people that are coming to us to put our packages together. And Gabby, the thing that is important that I put out there is that for for most people, we haven't been to the US before.
Mm-hmm.
And remember, it is the Black Star we are going to cheer.
Okay.
So when you travel in a group, like what we are putting to, like we are doing,
mm-hmm.
it makes travel seamless. It's a lot of, we take a lot of worry off of you, and try and get you relaxed and enjoy the moment. So we take the trouble to put all the logistics together, make sure that as we speak, we have block seat on Delta, we have block seat on Emirates, you understand? And we continue to block more, so that once the money you paid, you have already gotten all your end products already secured.
Okay. Wow.
And then,
yes,
actually, that's what it is.
Okay, wonderful. Sounds like you're really thorough. I like the fact that you said you had blocked seats. You've blocked seats on the airlines, Delta and Emirates. We don't want any problems. We want people to go. I love that. Just finally, if somebody signs up and says, okay, I'm going with Litina to the World Cup, what are you promising them, right? What's that one thing, or what's the biggest thing they will take away from signing up with Litina to go to the World Cup and come back?
Okay, first of all, our price is the lowest on the market. Nobody has been able to beat that. That is because of proactiveness on our part. As soon as we heard after the draw, we knew where we were going to stay. I had people stationed in Boston, in Toronto, to block seats, to block hotels, before the hotel started jacking up the prices. So that's really factored in our package, the price of our packages. And then also, a charter flight is expensive. The charters are just trying to rip everyone off. So the best deal was to secure seats on Emirates and Delta and other airlines at the ongoing fare, system fare. So it makes the packages very affordable
mm-hmm.
and cheaper. And we were also budget conscious. We said we may have people who are really, for two reasons. They may be too busy, they can't watch all the 3 matches,
mm-hmm.
they can only watch one match, they just want to experience it. So we have some budget of 3,990, which allows you to watch just one match,
okay,
5 days back. And then we have those who want to watch 2 matches, and those who want to watch 3 matches, all the 3 matches. So that's how we've done, that's how we've put our packages together. So coming to us in terms of price, we have made sure that we are good with that. Then in terms of the experience,
mm-hmm.
Litina is also known for trade missions.
Okay.
So we touch base with our Boston Ghanaian community, and we are trying to get, not that we are trying, we have secured a conference room where we'll be having interactions, music, trade, not instead of trade, like exhibiting, making people pay.
Yeah.
We have manufacturers, we produce this, we want people who order from Ghana and all that. So we're doing the Made in Ghana Expo. So from day one, when you issue your ticket from the 19th all the way to the 29th when we leave the US, your itinerary is set. People know what they're doing every day. We have already itemized our daily activities, events, whatever it is, sorted out. So we would see when we come back. If you ask me these questions, I'll bring a few people who went to that to come and give a testimony of our services, whether we did very well or we didn't do that well. So that's it.
Okay, before I let you go, finally, do you have a cut-off date in terms of getting people to go and this special package you are running concerning the World Cup?
Yes, I keep telling people that the cut-off date is when the U.S. Embassy or Canada says, look, we've hit our quota, and there are no dates anymore.
Okay.
If there are no dates, what are you going to do? So I encourage people to make preparations. They should come and let us start with them early. We shouldn't wait till May. May is too late.
Okay.
April prior to late. Anyone who wants to go to the World Cup, it's 100 days today. Why don't you come now? You understand? And we're not taking the money. We're not taking all the money up front. You say pay at least what will cover your visa and your match ticket for now, so that you can submit your application.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the time to pay out whatever difference. So I don't know why Ghanaians are always last minute. Please, this is a call for all people who are interested to come, and then let us start the process for them early.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for speaking with us. We wish you the very best. And, yes. We wish you the very best as you prep for the World Cup. Wonderful. That was Ernestina Brockwa. She's the CEO of Litina Travel and Tours. Yes, so you heard her. She says, get ready. 100 days. Don't wait until May something. You want visa date. You won't get visa dates. Nobody's, we don't like any last minutes. But anyway, if all of this sounds familiar, right? Or you may have missed this interview and all of that. Let me give you this interesting ad that Litina Travel and Tours put together. They are friends with us at Sporty FM. We are also trying to ensure that Ghanaians go and have a very good time at the World Cup. Well, if you missed the interview or you haven't heard this advert before, well, here you are.
When the world gathers for greatness, one name leads the way: Litina Travels. Litina Travels is taking Team Ghana to the biggest global football event on the planet, happening in America, Canada, and Mexico. Join the Litina 2-in-1 experience, uniting world-class football and global business in one unforgettable journey. Your Litina Travels package includes visa to watch all 3 group stage matches, 3 official match tickets, return charter flight, top-class hotel accommodation, travel insurance, and exclusive access to business networking events across all 3 host nations. This is not just a trip, it's history. It's football, it's opportunity, it's Litina Travels. The world is watching, the stakes have never been higher, and Litina Travels is your ticket to the global stage. Call 0244-260-789 today. Visit Litina at Alisa Hotel Northridge and secure your spot on this once-in-a-lifetime journey. Litina Travels, your gateway to the 2026 Global Football Competition, happening in the USA, Canada, and Mexico, where football meets opportunity and Ghana shines on the world stage. Sporty FM.
All right, this is still Sporty 106.1 FM. Sporty Road to 26. We are still on 100 days to the start of the 2026 World Cup. Gary is still here. Raymond is here. Prince Tego is also here. The studio is full. We'll be speaking to more and more people. Our very good friend, Seydou Adamu, is joining us on the line. He looks really sleepy. If you were in Ghana, you'd have been fully awake by now. We'll get to Seydou Adamu in a second. But Gary, interesting conversation. We'll come to, the hardcore issues on the table. But 32 years ago, and it's nice that we've spoken to Ernestina of Litina, right? As she's going to enter the go sort properties out this morning. 32 years ago, the world experienced the World Cup in the US for the very first time. And we are going back. This time there are additions. There's Canada and there's Mexico and all. But between then and now, what's changed? Like, what's the difference really between the first time the US hosted and the second time they are about to host?
This question was answered to us at the World Cup draw. You remember the video I put up where there were some American players having interviews, and then I brought out the Ghana flag. And then they started screaming, "We want Ghana, we want Ghana." That was before the draw. Kobe Jones.
Yes, I remember. Then he was a dreadlocked.
He was a dreadlocked.
Bleach.
The original Kobe Jones, not House of Oak.
Not House of Oak Kobe Jones. So, shout out to Kobe Jones.
That's Kobe Jones, COBI, Kobe Jones. And he said, he answered it in a way that, I could never have because he was there. And he said, there are a few similarities. It was just like this. And America was going to be a very hot World Cup, just like this one is going to be, because, and he said, if you didn't know what the 94 World Cup was like, the Club World Cup last year should give you an idea of just how hot it was. The fever, definitely, as football players, he wishes he played in this era, because at the time, it felt like they were Americans playing in a different continent, because people didn't really understand what was going on. They just knew that, suddenly the whole world had come to their country and they were playing this thing called soccer. But they didn't feel like superstars at the time, as compared to these guys who are literally going to be carried shoulder high the entire time. So that's one of the main differences. He also highlighted, if I remember in that interview, he didn't speak to me about that. He was speaking to some local broadcaster and I eavesdropped. And he said that, it was a smaller World Cup, obviously, because it was 24 teams at the time. there were only 52 matches at the time. At the time, we thought it was a big deal.
Oh, yes, yes.
Now, the World Cup, as President Trump says and as Gianni Infantino says, has expanded to a massive 48-team affair and 104 Super Bowls.
Wow.
Because the White House, that is how they are marketing it. Because they are saying that a World Cup match, the fanfare around it,
it's just like
the build-up around it and everything is like a Super Bowl. So there are literally 104 Super Bowls, making it by far the largest World Cup in history. It also introduces a new round of 32 in the knockout stage, which for us in Ghana means that if we do well, and after the round of 64, we play some one draw and collect some last minute fatal Isahaku go and we win some 3 points in there and we go to the round of 32, it means that we are getting more money. For me, that's one of the most important things. And so when you get into the round of 32, it opens up a world of possibilities because of the way the groups are. You can go and meet somebody where, you go feed you Takashi and just collect your way into the next round as well. So that's another difference between that one and this one. 1994 obviously was hosted only by the USA. You pointed out somewhere in your introduction that this is new as well because we are having 3 host nations, USA, Canada, and Mexico, the first ever shared by 3 host nations. Obviously, notably, Mexico and the USA hosted 94 and 1970 respectively, making 2026 a nostalgic reunion of sorts. Now stadiums, or stadia, I don't know whether you are, whatever it is, Charlie. 94 used 9 stadia, or stadiums, and at the time they were mostly NFL venues.
Oh yes,
Charlie, because
the Rose Bowl,
they didn't understand, so they were using NFL venues at the time, and most of them had artificial surfaces.
Oh, okay.
Yes, people forget that. So, Charlie, America was not even. But you see, the thing that even makes America very, America are all about themselves.
Oh yes.
Is that even now, they are still having problems, and we'll talk to Sadie, he'll tell you. The MetLife Stadium, where the final will be, it still has problems because they still insist on using artificial pitches. And FIFA have told them that stop the rubbish. Because in the last Copa America, it was a problem. It was not a fully natural surface they used. In the Club World Cup as well, it was an issue. So America needs to shape up and look, we are not coming to play any NFL MLB thing over here. So that's one of the differences as well. Now they are going to use 16 stadiums across all the 3 countries, including some of the largest and most modern football or soccer specific stadiums and NFL stadiums in North America. The last difference I want to point out is, of course, with us in Africa. At the time, like you pointed out in your intro, there was Morocco, there was Cameroon, and there was Nigeria. The very interesting thing was that Morocco and Cameroon, they didn't qualify for that year's AFCON.
Yes.
But they qualified for the World Cup. And Nigeria, obviously,
Nigeria won 94 Tunisia. Nigeria won.
Yes.
Nigeria won.
And that was it. This time, we are having 9 teams who are confirmed. And inshallah, DR Congo will give us number 10 when they play in the playoffs in about 3 weeks in Alonso Cabral's Mexico. So these are some of the, few differences between 94 and now, and Ernestina as well. Prince, when Ernestina of Litina was talking, you mentioned something that I think listeners need to hear because we are here to boost people's confidence, but let people know that everything we are trying to do is above board as well. Prince asked when she was talking about the money and you have to deposit as well.
Yes,
he said, "Hey, this money issue," and it's a very big and important question. It's a big reason why some people are skeptical about any kind of travel and tour at all. Because Charlie, the Ghana we have heard things.
Oh yeah.
Since the World Cup qualification was secured for Ghana, the number of calls I have had
personally,
and the number of calls as Gary and as Sporty FM, we want to use, we want to partner you. That's what they freaking. We want to partner you. And some travel. Oh, who are you? Oh, we are this travel and tour. We are this. Then you check them out. You see that there are some incontinent travel and tour. Their office is in some La Paz, in Chile, baby, and they are in some. You check them out and it doesn't check out. You might have noticed, listeners, that we have only worked with 2 so far. The 90 year came on board only last week.
Yes.
The amount of vetting we did in 98 before they came. Litina, we worked with them instantly from the very day they draw. And I'll tell you why we use Litina. Jamaica Commission. You know, I don't want to mention the others. The other travel and tour agencies that went to sit in front of Justice Jamaica who were sweating. Litina were the only ones who in the white paper came out with a smooth record. As having gone through all the checks, they made sure that they didn't have the Brazil stuff. The white paper is there. So once we checked that,
and for listeners, it's a public document. You can get it to
so
read.
once we checked that, and we saw that, okay, this one is vetted and approved by Justice Jamaica.
Then
right?
We are good to go.
And if you know Litina, the office, you know, they have a proper office. One of the biggest problems, and I'll say this on air, is that some of the people, we want to partner you. You go and check them out, like I said. In office have no day. Then you go come here. Then you go say, me. The office is there, my boot inside. Say, hey, boss. You know, so like these are some of the issues. We've had so many calls about so many people wanting to partner us because so you will hear all manner of things on other radio stations, no problem. But and by the grace of God, from the 5th of December when we started putting Litina on air up till now, we have not had, you know, one of the things I wake up dreading is seeing the social media posts on Facebook or X or somewhere. Hey, Sporty FM, you people who said Litina can take people to the World Cup. We have gone, they have taken our money, we don't see them again. And that's what I think Prince is talking about, right? Because you hear all manner of things over the years. The reason why we have decided that there are 1,001 travel and tours who are doing stuff, but we only want to go with this lady, Auntie Tina, as we call her. And also, some of you may know, in addition to having 13 years experience or whatever, she has been called to the bar recently.
Oh!
Yeah, she's not a lawyer.
Hey!
And do you know where she works?
No.
Sorry at law.
Where?
Yes. That's a Chambers.
Sorry at law.
No.
So she cannot get herself embroiled.
If Auntie Tina does any I'm going to
and Tadio, sorry, if you bring problem to her.
If you bring problem to her, you go, yeah. So it's a very important question Prince Tego asks about, hey, as for this money issue, you know, so because at the end of the day, you might have to deposit some money, and then that's how they'll use it to process your stuff as well. So that's why for us we have chosen only two. That's Auntie Tina, Litina Travel, and Auntie who we'll hear more from in the afternoon belt edition of the show.
Wonderful. We're talking about the World Cup in the US. Seydou Adamu is joining us. Seydou, good. I'm sure it's morning there, so good morning.
It's actually 3 a.m. here.
Yeah, Raddy. Your man won't sleep. But anyway, Seydou, thank you so much for taking time out to speak with us. Tell me, earlier we spoke to Alonso Cabral in Mexico. He was giving us a flavor of how it is like or how the place is like as they get ready for the World Cup. A lot of the matches will be played where you are in the US. How is the US getting ready for the 2026 World Cup? What's the atmosphere like? What are people saying? What's the vibe like in, to borrow the words, in the land of the home of the free and something?
Land of the free, home of the brave.
Yes, land of the free and home of the brave.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, and I'm elated and happy to be part of this event. I want to quickly add to what Gary just said about Litina. I have personally not patronized them before, but I know of their experiences in the 2010 World Cup, and also in 2014 in Brazil. I saw some of the people they ferried or they took to Brazil World Cup, and they gave a very good account of themselves. And so I know that Litina, I have even personally recommended their services to my family, and I know that they do a very good job. Having said that, I would say that if you know the atmosphere of the US before the start of the NFL season and also the Super Bowl, that's exactly this year. You see people going about their normal duties, but when the duty calls, you see the stadium filled, you see the fan fest, you see all the pubs. Most people who don't get the opportunity to go to the stadium, they usually want to watch the games at pubs. And I've seen most pubs in the communities, neighborhoods. I live partially in the DMV and partially in Philadelphia, so there's a kind of chill, because even though the DMV is not physically hosting any World Cup game. There are 2 cities that are hosting some of the teams. Alexandria is hosting Croatia, and so there's some sort of vibe, there's some sort of feeling in the DMV area. And don't forget that it will be the first time in the 100 years of FIFA's World Cup that a capital city or a capital nation will not be hosting any of the games, because Washington, D.C., even though they had a combined bid with Maryland and Virginia, they were denied the opportunity to host any of the games. They presented 2 stadiums, the M&T Stadium in Baltimore and the FedEx Stadium, or the Northwest Stadium now, which is in Maryland, also in Maryland, but the 2 venues were denied or declined by FIFA. So that's why FIFA did everything possible to bring the draw to Washington, D.C., so that there will be the feel of the capital for the World Cup. When it comes to Philly, and I'll also touch on where Gary spoke about the pitches. So yes, Gary, all the pitches, most of the pitches still have artificial turf, but right after the NFL season, most of them are now being turned into natural grass. So you were here in December. When you come back again in 6 months' time, you see a complete turnaround of the mud venues. Places like the Mercedes-Benz Arena in Atlanta, which had artificial turf. They are currently working briskly to ensure that they put natural grass. I was in Philly about 2 weeks ago, and the Lincoln Financial Field, they are also working on ensuring that the natural grass grows. And most of the venues like M&T, like AT&T, the NRG Stadium, the SoFi Stadium, and even the Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts, they are all having a turnaround in terms of the playing field. So you will not see the kind of field you saw in 1994, where you had all the NFL markings on the field alongside the football markings. You will not see that in this World Cup. You see a wholly new field marked with football lines for the 104 games, or let me say, for the 78 games that are going to be played on the land of the U.S.
Wow, sounds like an interesting time in the US. Seydou, I'll come back to you. I wanted to get thoughts on security concerns, but I'll come to you. Gary, you were at the US Embassy a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
And you met Mr. Rolf Olsen.
Yes.
And he spoke a lot about security. Before we even hear from him, though, what were the biggest items on the day in terms of discussions and takeaways?
I think when the journalists, there were about 5 of us who were invited for that briefing. One from Graphic, Ghanaian Times, Channel 1 here, Sporty, myself, and then I am forgetting one, Joy News. Joy News, Blessed Suga was there. So the 5 of us. I think the number one question we all came with, so he started answering before we even asked it, was about people's concerns about one, security, and the visa refusals. Yes. Even when, like Auntie Tina said, you have all your documentation and you have serious travel experience. These were the 2 key issues. What the impression I got and we got when we left there was that these guys at the US Embassy, right? They recognized what the feeling of the people they are serving was or is. And that's why they brought us, to try and dispel that notion, those negativities in people's minds. Also because I think that once they had opened the available slots, yes, and the context is that most people who are listening know that it's been a thing for a while, almost 2 or 3 years, that American Embassy there, if you go and look for dates, you'll find a date maybe next year or in 18 months because there's such a backlog. According to the Chargé d'Affaires, President Trump and Washington has, for the first time in many years, because of the World Cup specifically, allowed them to get more consular officers that have helped them to clear the backlog.
Okay.
So for those of you who have been to the US Embassy in a while, you will now notice that if you go now, they have more windows. Like there are more people, consular officers who are serving. So they say because of that, they are now able to serve up to 100 people per day. which didn't used to be the case.
Okay.
You know, they call it adjudication, right? So they will adjudicate your case and try and see if they will give you a visa. Because of that, they have more people to clear, and that's why Auntie Tina said, you know, that's what they told us as well, that for, as they say in the advert, while stocks last, please go and put in your application, because you can even get dates next week.
Okay.
So that's what they told us, that one, there are dates available. Two, they are assuring people that your things will be processed fast. And three, as for the safety concerns and stuff, they are just asking people. It was interesting that they couldn't tell us that you will be safe. They only said that what the Chargé d'Affaires told us was very interesting. He said, even when he's in Ghana, he always carries his identity documents and a copy of his documents around, so that if they stop him at a traffic light or Ghana police stop him, who are you? He'll show his documentation. So while you are in the US, he's asking you that at all times, either you are holding your passport or your travel documents or copies that can be verified, so that anytime they stop you, you can show that I am Gary Al Smith, I am Nathan Kwa, I am Prestego, I am Raymond Yamado, so and so and so. But interesting, he couldn't say, he said, for those of you who have heard all these headlines about the US and you are worried, yeah, it's normal, there'll be headlines. But he didn't say we assure you of, you know, because Charlie, we can all see the news. And I think that it's really, really worried them, I guess, everything that's going on. Then, this is 2 weeks ago. Now, Iran and things have come to, you know, lots of people are thinking twice. But hey, Charlie, as a cathedral, walk out there.
Anyway, let's hear from Rolf Olsen. Rolf Olsen works at the U.S. Embassy, and he talks specifically about the security situation. Now, it's important that you hear him yourself. You hear from the horse's own mouth. We are not saying he's a horse too, but yeah. The horse's own mouth, as we say. So here's Rolf Olsen, an official at the U.S. Embassy in Accra, speaking mainly on the security situation in relation to the 2026 World Cup.
To assure us that Ghanaian funds will be rounded up in the U.S. and put in jail, given that they have valid visas and they have a period of time to stay in the U.S. and back. Thank you.
So a couple things. One is President Trump, Secretary Rubio, and other U.S. government officials as well have affirmed repeatedly since last year that they're going to make this the best World Cup that's ever been held, and that they welcome visitors from around the world who are coming, the teams who are coming to participate, the fans who are coming. And again, the example of that, I think I mentioned in my statement, is there were hundreds of consular officers who were surged to go to places where more applications particularly were needed, which of course was principally in countries that qualified, like Ghana. And so they have placed great emphasis on that, and a lot of work going into that to make sure the experience as a whole goes positively. Obviously, large sporting events like the World Cup, especially when there are a lot of different cities, require a lot of collaboration, a lot of effort overall, and to make sure we provide a safe environment, and that's something that's a priority for the government. In terms of the environment for visitors, the bottom line here is we are interested in facilitating travel for people who are going and observing the terms of what they're doing. So if you're entering the country on a valid passport with a valid U.S. visa, you should be having that with you at all times anyway, right? That's the standard. That's the expectation that Ghana has of U.S. visitors who are here. And so making sure you have that with you at all times and that you're able to say, because of course it's always possible to have law enforcement actions. I have been in vehicles that have been stopped by Ghana police here. It happens, right? So you're able to say, this is who I am. I have my identity document. Okay, proceed to move on. Obviously, there are a lot of headlines about what's going on in the U.S., and that's fine. But what we can say is when travelers go to the U.S., be clear about what you're doing, make sure you have your identity documents with you, and engage in conduct that's related to the World Cup and what you're going to do. Legal, obviously observing the laws of the U.S., and you're going to have a great experience.
So that was Rolf Olsen. He's the chargé d'affaires at the U.S. Embassy. For those who understand the diplomatic game, when somebody's chargé d'affaires, he's a big man. He's a big man. Yeah, he's close to the very top running. So you know that in the embassy, so usually there's like the head of mission, right?
Yeah.
Then you have the head of chancery, then the chargé d'affaires. They be the big people, the three big people.
Literally chargé.
Yeah, he's literally in charge of everything, in charge of the business. So the head of chancery, then you have head of mission and all of that. Let me bring back Seydou. Seydou, so that was Rolf Olsen, chargé d'affaires of the U.S. Embassy in Accra, talking about security concerns. Tell me, what is it like in the US? How do people feel about security ahead of the World Cup? What are the locals saying? Are they concerned that the World Cup, you know, there will be disruptions, or they are saying that, oh, people should come, everything will be fine?
Well, I would say that what they say, the homeland is secure, the homeland is safe. If you know the US, in the history of the US, there's been only one external attack on the homeland, which was 9/11. And since 9/11, the FBI, the DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, has put in extra measures to ensure that the homeland do not have any extra or external attack from outside. If you are talking about internal security, that's what we can discuss. Some of the internal security issues, I don't think we are looking into the activities of ICE, because I'm sure by the time the World Cup starts, the activities of ICE will be reduced, because to ensure that all the visitors coming into the World Cup are safe and also go about their activities. Even with ICE at the moment, it's not every part of the country that is facing the overflow of their activities. There are only few places that is experiencing the overflow of their activities. And I would say that most of those places do not even, or are not even host cities like Chicago, like Minneapolis. All these cities are not part of the host cities for the World Cup. If you look at where the World Cup is actually happening, the main base, you are looking at Georgia, you are looking at Dallas, you are looking at Houston, you are looking at Los Angeles, you are looking at places like Massachusetts, even Philadelphia. These are places that have not received or have not had any overflow of the activities of ICE. And so when you talk of ICE, the activities of ICE, I would say it would not be a major problem for traveling fans. You are also looking at internal security, and one of the major ones that people have been concerned are usually mass shootings that occurs at specific places. But in all this, you will realize that none of these mass shootings or mass killings or people getting assassinated or whatsoever happens at match venues, because most of the time the local police teams up with the state police, and sometimes federal police comes in when it is an international competition, and security is very, very very tight. They put in a lot of work in terms of security for match games. I was a volunteer at the FIFA Club World Cup, and I was stationed in Washington, D.C., and I saw the level of security that was put in. When the federal FBI comes in, they cordon a certain perimeter to the match venue. The state police, even though DC didn't have state police, they secure the services of state police from Maryland and Virginia to support them. Then the internal police also work around 100 to 200 meters around the match venue. So when it comes to match venue and supporters, I would say it is the US has enough or have enough mechanism to ensure that everyone that is attending the games is safe. Now, I've heard people talk about the Iran-Israel war. I don't know to what extent, even though the president has assured that it's not going to go beyond 4 weeks. And if we calculate 4 weeks from now, it will be by the end of March or the first week of April. And so I'm sure by then the escalation or the level of escalation should be reduced, and it should give people assurance that the World Cup will be happening. I've heard people also talk about the violence in Mexico, and I think when it comes to the World Cup, Mexico is one of the most experienced countries in the World Cup. This will be the third time they are hosting the World Cup, and I'm sure they know the measures they put in place to ensure that they have a successful World Cup. And you know that for FIFA to allow or accept a country to host multiple World Cups, it means that FIFA has been satisfied with the activities. They hosted it in 1970, they did 1986, and this will be the third time. So obviously it will mean that FIFA is clearly satisfied with their security measures and the plans they have in place to ensure that there's a successful World Cup. Canada, of course, is one of the most peaceful places at the moment, so I cannot talk about Canada a lot. But for the US, I would say that it's okay for people to come. There are not too much concerns as we have seen or heard people say outside. When you come to the country, people do their normal business. People walk around. People are buying their tickets. I've seen one of the local stations that will be hosting the World Cup or be telecasting the World Cup, doing intense media activities, and there are even programs around the World Cup ongoing at the moment. So I think safety, the US security agencies, and let me also add that for the past 3 weeks, DHS, which is the Department of Homeland Security, has not been funded. Just this week, the majority, or the one we call the majority in Parliament, the Mahama Yariga of the Congress. Gary, what will be his name? The Mahama Yariga of the U.S. Congress.
Yeah.
Spoken that
okay.
They are going back to Congress to ensure that they debate on the funding for DHS, because DHS is the department that ensures that the homeland is safe.
Yeah.
And
that's the Department of Homeland Security.
Yeah. So they are going back on the table to discuss the funding principles and the funding processes to ensure that they are well funded to protect the homeland. So I'll say that it is safe. People should buy their tickets. People should come. And like Gary said, this is the first time in the history of the US that they are clearly advertising that they have open dates. Most of the time, you don't get dates, and sometimes 2 years or 3 years backlog. This is the first time I have seen them advertising that they have dates. People should apply, which is very positive.
Okay, I mean, sounds like a good thing. Sedu, I'll come to you later. Just stay on the line for me. But let's cross the border, right? From US, let's cross the border. Let's go up north. Let's go to Canada. And let's get some local perspective on what exactly is happening in that country, how they are getting ready for that World Cup. Let's bring in Efua Santua Edionum. Now, lots of people know her for other things, right? You know, doing the sing-a-thon, other things. But lots of people do not also know that she's a sports journalist. That's her. She cut her teeth being a sports journalist. Many people don't know this. So today we are bringing out the journalist side of Efua.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
Efua Singleton was my intern at Joy Sports. Yeah.
I see.
I mean, because of what she's done in other spheres, I've never written this. I think we have a picture somewhere. I think she sent it to me some time ago of us working together.
Okay.
Yeah. So she was my intern at Joy Sports. So originally, before she dabbled into everything, before she did the beauty queen stuff, the Goa Awards, obviously the sing-a-thon and everything else. Originally, so and she's on the line, she'll tell you. I think she's done about 3 AFCONs that I have been. I remember she was at the 2015 AFCON with us. She covered the 2015 with us, and then one other one. But she's on the line. She's the best person to tell about her journalism.
About her journalism part. Efua, good morning. How are you doing? I'm sure it's what 3, 4 a.m. where you are
in Canada. Yeah.
Yes, we are fine. We are fine. And a lot of people don't know that you have a sports journalistic background. Can you just tell people exactly? Gary, what?
Gary just sold me out.
Gary just sold you out.
Yes.
Wonderful. It's nice to have you on. You've been in Canada for a bit. What's the vibe like on the ground? What are people saying about the World Cup? Are they excited that the world is coming to Canada?
Yes, we are fine. We are fine.
I am super excited to join you this morning, even though it's still 3-something here in Canada. And I mean, Gary is right. He's one of the few people that encourage me to, still do sports. And I know somewhere along the line I dropped off. But back to the question, I think there's a lot more curiosity, early excitement, and a lot of planning going on. I mean, Canada is hosting the World Cup for the first time, even though it's in partnership with Mexico and USA. A lot of people are anticipating to receive, numbers of fans into the country. At the moment, we are now transitioning into spring, so you barely see, outdoor activities ongoing. But I can promise you that there are a lot of activities we are cooking. I mean, thanks to the Ghana-Canadian Association team and the president, they are doing an amazing job. I hope I don't spill out their tea so fast. But I know that they have a lot in stock for the fans, for in-house. If I talk about in-house, I'm talking about Ghanaians living in Canada and even every other African that is participating in the upcoming World Cup. So it's all excitement, and we are in anticipation of this.
You mentioned that for Canada, this is really big. It's the very first time they are going to experience something like this, right? You've mentioned what the plans are at a bigger level. When you have conversations with locals, your friends, colleagues, whatever, what are they saying? What do people say about the World Cup? Are there people who don't know what the World Cup is about? And are there people who are excited that the world is coming to North America?
Yeah, I mean, of course, majority of them are super excited. And one of my headaches is, how can I get a ticket? Where can I get a ticket? Everybody wants to experience this. And it makes me feel so proud to have witnessed the Qatar 2022 World Cup. It tells how important and how beautiful this game we call football is. I mean, Canada is known for hockey and other sporting activities, but for them to have so much love and excitement towards the FIFA World Cup tells me that this is more than a game. And talking about the fan zones they are building, the diaspora, cultural activity, engagement. I mean, most people are concerned about ticketing anyway, about the pricing, but the exciting news is that there will be other avenues allocated where fans can go watch the match regardless of not being, physically present at the stadium. So the challenges are there, but we are still excited regardless. Even if it snows that day, we are still going to watch the game regardless.
Wonderful. 2 questions before I let you go. One, on the American side, a big headache is security. Do you get the same vibe in Canada? Are people also concerned about security, how safe the country will be for the period that the World Cup is going to be played in there?
The World Cup in US in 1994 was recorded as one of the best in terms of numbers, in terms of attendance.
Mm-hmm.
And due to the ongoing, bomb flying over and beneath, I'm beginning to feel like majority of the fans will troop into Canada. Security here is totally on point. Everybody is safe. I mean, in terms of immigration, you don't need to purchase a ticket. You have to go through the normal visitor visa acquisition. Like, everything is ongoing as it should be. We are very comfortable. Security in Canada is top notch. If you're thinking about any of these 3 countries where you need to go watch this historic football, it should be Canada. I can assure you that.
Okay, finally, the Black Stars will play 1 game in Toronto. For somebody who's coming there, what should they expect from the city of Toronto? That's where the Black Stars will play one of their games. How is it like there? Will people enjoy their time there? In Toronto, as they say. Will people enjoy their time in
I have a feeling GTA, as we call it, or Toronto is going to be the talk, how do I call it, like the talk city of the World Cup. Because the expectations and the planning, the investments, I can't wait for you to experience it. If I should do this, they will say, oh, if I just sneaked. I mean, I don't want to share with you, but you see, we had Aquaba Village during my time.
Yeah.
Anticipate something like that in Toronto for the Ghanaian fans and every other community. There's food, I mean, festivals, music, and maybe there'll be sing-a-thon, maybe.
Wow. She says maybe that might be.
That's what we make.
We'll have to wait and see if that will happen. Efwa, thank you. Thank you so much for speaking with us. We had to wake you up quite early, but I'm sure we'll speak again before the World Cup and maybe during the World Cup.
Sure.
Yes.
Wonderful.
It was a pleasure.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Efwa Santua joining us from Canada, giving us, a taste or something to expect. And Gary, I'm happy that we touched base with Canada because I just wanted a bit of the difference to.
Do you notice? Do you notice even among our Sedu is Ghanaian,
the voice of sports.
Efwa is Ghanaian.
Yeah.
The difference in their their tone about the same World Cup.
Yeah.
It's so different.
It's very, very, very
like
different.
when you speak to the Canadians, they're like they can't think far. You know, like they can't think far about what's going on, like literally just across the border. It's literally an entirely new world away.
Yep.
It's so interesting, eh?
And I had that feeling, so I just wanted Ifa to confirm my suspicions in terms of the vibe in Canada and the US.
Canada, they all got to bomb over yeah, like
you know. So we'll see. It will be interesting to have an eye on. It's something I would have loved to see how the atmosphere in the two countries and do a comparison, right? I don't know. It will be interesting to see what Canada will even look like or where they go from here. They host a couple of World Cup games. I wonder what it will change in that country. Does it put them on a new path to say, you know what, let's embrace this thing. Let's try and do more soccer, as they would call it.
As part of the 100-day coverage, Germany's biggest football magazine, Kicker, spoke to Thomas Muller.
Oh,
so sort of like
yes, he plays in Canada.
Yes,
of course he plays in the US, but his team is in Canada.
He's in
White
Canada,
Caps
in
Vancouver.
the MLS, right? But his team is the Vancouver White Caps are based in Canada. And this was a specific question they asked him. What is in the German translation? How would you assess football in North America? And this was his answer. He said, "You must separate two different things. Football here still has no big significance in the life of the general population. It's not a thing that will be spoken about in somebody's office on a Monday morning. But the football bubble is not so small at all. In the stadia, when the same human beings who do not talk about football in their offices gather, the atmosphere is euphoric. The people who go to the stadia are extremely interested in the game. When they go out of the stadium, it's like they're in a different country or in a different world altogether because people don't care. The rest of the population doesn't know the football bubble at all. They have other topics and sports. They grew up with ice hockey, basketball, and American football. The ranking of football is perhaps comparable to what handball is in Germany. And due to the topography in Canada, there are significantly fewer football pitches than ice hockey.
Yes. So what we are saying is that even the layout of the country, the way the country is geographically, they don't have enough space to do football. It's not flat. Canada is not flat. It's very mountainous, right? Very, very mountainous. 8:55. This is still Sporty FM. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. This is Sporty Road to 26. We are doing a special 100-day countdown. The World Cup is 100 days away from kicking off in the US, Canada, and Mexico. We will get to the African part, and we are going to the African chapter next. Your comments are welcome. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. Earlier, we caught up with a few people asking them their own thoughts of the 2026 World Cup from a security standpoint, right? Do they want the World Cup to be taken away from America? What do they think? Do they want to go? Do they feel safe? Let's listen to what they had to say when we took our microphones to the streets.
Truthfully, everyone wants to be at the World Cup, and Ghana at the World Cup is obviously going to be a very nice period. Now, if you ask me who is going to win the World Cup, I'd possibly or probably pick Spain. You look at the likes of Lamine Yamal, who love to rise at the big occasions. You're looking at this Spanish team who over the years have built their legacy. You look at the last Euros and you look at how they play for their individual clubs. And again, there's that Pedri in the mix, there's that Gavi in there as well, and then of course the star boy Lamine Yamal. So personally, I'll tip Spain to win the World Cup. But again, there are dark horses who want to make history. I know Cristiano Ronaldo wants to make history with Portugal. They have a very fine team. They have very good young players who can play in every style, in every shape. They basically need a bit of motivation. I don't think Ronaldo will be the main man this time. That gives the team that edge that they need to be able to go out and pick a victory. There are other teams as well who will come to the party during the tournament. To decide now that Spain will be the ultimate winner is quite dependent on a lot of factors, and when we get closer to the World Cup where the other teams had prepared and the squad numbers and the squad sheet have been reviewed, then we can probably make the deduction that this country can win or this team is capable of winning. But as it stands, my favorite to win the World Cup is obviously Spain.
100 days to the World Cup. I think it's a very beautiful reminder to all of us that the World Cup is now closer to us than we think. From tomorrow forward, we're going to enter into the double-digit countdown, and that will be followed by the single-digit countdown, and then kick-off will be upon us. I am particularly excited about this year's World Cup. Given that it's being hosted amongst 3 nations, and then participating teams having expanded to 48, all of those things excite me. However, not without concern. I mean, given the situation we all witnessed in Mexico recently, and it's my hope and prayer that all security measures will be put in place to protect life and property during the tournament. On Ghana, truth be told, this team doesn't inspire higher levels of confidence in me, because we've seen squads in the past before, and this team doesn't do that for me. However, I don't think that we are in an impossible group. Should we do our homework well, get the basics right, I think that it should be possible for the Black Stars to progress out of this group of Ghana, England, Panama, Croatia. I think we should be able to progress to the knockout stage, and that should be it. I'm also looking forward to seeing Benjamin Aksari, who I'm very excited for, to replicate his form on the global stage. Who do I think would win the World Cup? I have a funny feeling that the World Cup is going to Europe. Yeah, and I have 3 teams or countries in my mind: England, Spain, and Portugal.
So those were some of the thoughts. We took our microphones to the street to get people's thoughts on the World Cup, different things. Some people talked about security. The last voice you heard spoke about Benjamin Asari being at the World Cup, a subject that generates a lot of reaction I don't quite understand, to be brutally honest. I don't even understand how this is a problem, that a player who plays in the Ghana Premier League is potentially going to a World Cup, and we are jumping all over ourselves. But anyway, I've said what I have to say. This is still Sporty FM. This is the Sporty Breakfast. This is Sporty Road to 26. 100-day countdown to the start of the competition. Gary Smith is here. Raymond Yamado is here. Prince Tego, the Prince of Goals, is here. Ex-Black Stars fan. I'll be getting his thoughts in a bit before he leaves us. But let's get a feel of what Africa has done at the World Cup so far. Africa has done interesting things at the World Cup in terms of moments, right? Goals and all of that. In 2010, it was a wonderful time when Africa hosted that World Cup. Let's go back 16 years and give you a flavor of some of the great goals that were scored in that competition.
Adisa turning it through. It's on here now. The goalkeeper's beaten, and South Africa have their first goal. Sipiwe Shabalala, on the day he wins his 50th cap, has given South Africa a glorious moment. He's curling it over, and a clear header and a goal. Oh my word! Gabriel Heinze plunges in, and Argentina have the opening goal. Well, the Nigerian defence simply did not pick him up. Gabriel Heinze appeared from nowhere.
So not producing as yet for their side. There may be something for Ozil here. There's a ripper of a goal. That's what there is in Soccer City. From this wonderful young talent, Mesut Ozil has just changed the complexion of Group D with a fizzer of a shot that not even Richard Kingston could keep out. Ghana 0, Germany 1.
Quagliarella! Oh! Maybe! Just maybe! Fabio Quagliarella with a wonder goal. It's 3-2. And maybe it's not over yet. This is absolutely extraordinary.
Over Cavani's head. Suarez. Still Suarez. Brilliant goal! Luis Suarez could well have scored the goal to take Uruguay into the quarter-finals of the World Cup.
Here are the youngsters again, passing it around superbly, and this is Klose's pass, and now it's Muller. England all over the place. Podolski, great stuff from Germany, 2-0. Magnificent football. Lucas Podolski adds to the early goal from Miroslav Klose. And these two serial goal scorers for the German national side ripped England apart.
Oh, it's dangerous here. It is.
T10 in South Africa. Prince, you played in that World Cup. Tell me, how does it feel listening to some of the commentary? Did it give you some memories?
Yeah, yes, of course. I mean, looking at, the goals Sule scored, it was crazy. You know, we were not expecting that shot.
At all?
Not at all. Even you could see that the keeper was not expecting it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's part of the beauty of the game.
I see. You know, everybody knows the story of the game, you know, the penalty miss and everything. Let's put that aside. For you, what's the best thing you remember about the World Cup? When you think about 2010, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
I think it's first, I think it's two things. I mean, the penalty and also our first game with Serbia.
Okay.
Yeah, because I think when the tournament started, I think most of the African countries were not able to get their points. So, I mean, all attention was on Ghana. And we played a very good game with Serbia, and we proved that, I mean, we are doing something good in the World Cup.
Prince played as a right wing back. Right wing back. Charlie
played on the right. Charlie Milo changed. Prince, how was it like having to play in that unfamiliar position? You are a striker. Your job is to score goals. You've scored goals all your life, and then Milo says play in this different position. How did it feel like?
No, I think when I started my career, I was a winger.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah, I was playing right wing, and normally it's more easier for me to score most of my goals from there because of my pace. And all that. Yeah, but after course and went to Division 1, I changed to be a main top striker. So I have an idea about playing that position. And in the World Cup too, because Asamoah was also back in the team, he decided that okay, then I should be at the wings because of my speed. I should be able to fall back more to help the right back. So it was a plan that he introduced so that I can play. Yeah, so that was why I was playing at the wing.
Yeah, you know, we talk about the Black Stars in that World Cup. People talk about the One Goal project, and we were a difficult team. Tell me, when you guys were playing under Milo's instruction and he was telling you guys to work hard and cover each other and all of that, initially, did it feel like it was hard work, having to now you are working extra hard, you have to cover income and help this person and all? How did it feel like learning to play this compact style as a team?
Yeah, it was very hard, but we want Ghanaians to be happy all the time. When they were talking about one goal project, we don't really care about that because at the end of the day,
you are winning.
You are winning. You are getting your bonus. Yeah. So one goal project wasn't an issue. We just wanted to be one team and help each other on the field, so that at the end of the day we will just get the victory
and take the bonus. How much was the bonus?
Well, I think it was $10,000.
It was $10,000 at the time.
$10,000. Hey, that's the $10,000 World Cup. Tell me, let's talk about the Uruguay game. I know some people who don't even want to think about it, but it is part of our history. It is part of Ghana football. What do you remember? Of course, the penalty. Just take me through your own. Take me through how you were feeling about it as it was happening. Jan had the ball, the penalty, the miss. Take me through your own emotions and how the rest of the players were feeling at the time.
I think we had high hopes that we're going to win that game, but things turned out to be the opposite. And one thing that I always say, I mean, every football person that loves football will, feel bad about the penalty issue and all that, but one thing I always say that we, the players that we are playing, we are playing and we are being paid. Do you get it? So I don't think maybe my colleague Asama will just know the critical point that we are, and maybe he will take a penalty and intentionally, miss it because if we win, we're going to get double bonus. I talk about the bonus.
No.
That's the motivation of the game. So I don't think he will risk that just for fun. So it happens in football, and we just have to let it go. But I think after the game, we were a bit down, but within an hour or two, everybody was okay. We felt that we've done something, even though we couldn't go to where we were expecting to be. But what we did, we are proud of ourselves. So we just put ourselves together and we're okay.
You talk about money, and it's not like I want to stay on this, but let me ask this, because the issue of bonus, appearance fee, people react very differently. There are those who say that give them the money, they deserve, they work hard. There are some people who say, but why are you taking money? You are playing for your country, appearance fee, 100,000, blah blah blah. Prince, I know that if I ask you what you think, you speak from the point of an ex-player, no problem. What is your own, or what do you say to people who make these arguments? The people who say, you guys deserve it, you work hard, so you deserve your money. And what will you say to the people who say that, but why are you taking money? You are playing for your country. Why should we pay you all these amounts of money we are paying you?
In every job that you have, decided to do or work, you have to get paid. And paid is something that you use it to do a whole lot of things, family-wise, your personal stuff, and all that. Football it's something that is a bit dangerous. You understand? You can just end your career in just 1 second. So if you have been able to sacrifice from this coast, pass through all this difficulty and be a professional, at least whatever you deserve has to be given to you.
Okay.
And footballers, we are some kind of way that when you say you want to give us this, that is what's taking the mind.
Yeah.
Nothing has to change. You understand? And when everything is on point, trust me, players will always deliver for you. That's what I've noticed, because whatever you work for, you have to get your return. So I don't think having appearance fee, your bonus, it shouldn't be an issue. Because you, the person that you are saying it, if you should be a footballer, you understand. You speak differently. It's just because you are being idle and maybe you are not working and you are listening to the numbers that the person is get you pissed off to say certain things. But I think everybody that works hard to be a professional deserve his money.
Let me ask you this. I'll ask you this final question. No, two questions before you go. I want you to give people an idea. So typically, how are your bonuses paid? Let's go back to 2010. You beat Serbia, and then you got a $10,000 bonus. How was it paid? Did they give the money to you cash, or they put it in an account, or you got the money after the World Cup? I asked it so that people will get an idea.
No, it's like everything is cash. Yeah, so maybe after the game, maybe late in the night, I mean, the team manager will knock your door, come. I mean, there's a whole list. And I mean, you just take your money and you sign and you go. So everything was cash. It was
my God. Were you not afraid? Were you not afraid of the money getting missing?
No. Because, I mean, there is security and they make sure nobody comes to your room and all those kind of things. Yeah. And you know, the moment you see the money, it gives you more. It's not like they will tell you like they are transferring the money and maybe
you're waiting for
you see
the Nigerian way.
The
Nigerian.
You get it. So 2010 was it was a very good experience because that was my first time in the World Cup. I didn't even know that maybe when you are being selected to the best, I mean 24 or something, you get an appearance fee.
Oh, you didn't know?
I didn't know. Okay. And this appearance fee is something that some of us were not even thinking about it. Because how can you start a tournament? You've not even kicked a ball, and you are going to be paid $100,000 cash.
Okay. So that appearance fee, did they give it to you in cash? Where did it come from? Who gave you that money?
We are working with management.
Oh, okay.
And this money too is not mainly coming from Ghana. I think FIFA is also involved.
FIFA,
it's not. I mean, the funds from Ghana.
Okay.
You get it. Yeah. So everything was cash.
Wow, everything was cash. So at which point did we start now paying with them? Because I know that soon after 2010, they changed and they started paying through their accounts and all, right? Did you experience that in your time?
No, never.
Okay.
But the players want to see their money.
You don't see cash.
Exactly. Want to see
because you see, transferring money to account is also good. But let's put it this way: some of us, where we are coming from, where we started our football, we have a lot of friends. Do you get it? We have a lot of friends
and family.
Maybe I'm just saying this, that maybe that is why maybe our current blaster, maybe they are having a little bit issues when it comes to luck. I'm speaking from myself because
sure.
If me, I've been called for the national team and I'm going to play for Blaster, the moment I step foot to Ghana and I get to my hotel, there are going to be a lot of people that I play with that will want to come around, come and see you. I mean, they cannot just see you without you giving them something. And whenever you do that, these are the same people who are going to pray for you, pray for the team. Because they know whenever you are being called, you sort them out.
Yeah.
But if monies are being transferred to banks, which is okay. I mean, I've been to the camps and I've seen most of the players. Guys used to come to see them, but you don't see like our time. Our time, when you get to the hotel, people that come, you see that everybody that is leaving is smiling. Yeah. I mean, Steve Napier, show a lot of love.
Good.
You know, we have people in the team that they have the habit of giving.
Okay.
Do you get it? So certain things we had it easy because of luck.
Wow. That's an interesting. I haven't thought of it that way.
Yeah, that'd be why we and you play that level.
No.
That's the spiritual side.
Yeah, that's the spiritual side.
Because look, where Steven played from, look at the area he's coming from. Excuse me to say, Choco. He played for Accra Asofo. I played for Accra Asofo. Our fans are huge.
Yeah.
So you can't come to camp with your empty hand. They will come and support you. And you just look at them and just go like...
They'll go.
I mean...
But you need to give them something.
Yeah. That thing is not going to build a house for them. But, I mean, it's...
They appreciate... They see that, they appreciate the little you give them.
Yeah. Let me ask Prince this. You didn't know there was appearance fee?
No.
When you found out, what was the discussion around appearance fee in camp? How were your other players... thinking that money came about? I mean, what is
and the 100,000? Did you discuss? Did you agree that we'll take 100, or it was offered? We'll give you 100.
It's not been discussed. It's something that is permanently, like something that is fixed. It is there, but we didn't know. So we, the young ones like me, Jonathan Mensah, how do you call it? This guy. Antoniana and all those
Pablo.
After everything, I mean, we were at one corner and we were saying, at that time the tournament has not started. So we were saying that So we've not even started the tournament and we've got this money. Then which means when the tournament starts, I mean, we are going to kill ourselves. Like that statement, like we are going all out. Because we feel like this is one of the tournament that, I mean, there's no any other tournament bigger than World Cup.
Yeah.
And you are being there. And also, when it comes to finance, you are being sorted. So what next? You have no excuse.
Yeah.
So some of I was a professional at that time, but even the local ones and the ones that don't really have big contract, that their salary is very low.
Players like Liadi was at that time playing in Ghana.
Yeah. So you can imagine. You can imagine. So everybody wants to, I mean, die for
it. Perspective.
Wow. Did management tell you why they were giving you appearance fees?
No, we know it's from FIFA, because whenever you you qualify for the World Cup, there's a package that is being given to you. Because when we even go to how do you call it, South Africa.
Yeah.
Even the UK, and maybe you might know the UK, some of the other countries that they are well known in football, they build their own camp for them.
Yes.
Yeah, they build their own camp for them. That, and people also came with their family, the players,
okay.
and their kids. They have places that their own camp, places that they can.
Germany did that in 2014. They built their own camp.
Yeah.
So and England want to do same in
the US.
Yeah. So it's something that, I mean, FIFA also supports.
To their own specifications.
So it's not mainly about, I mean, Ghana money.
Yeah, it's FIFA money.
Yeah.
Prince, finally, before we let you go, what are your own expectations of the current Black Stars team? You've played in a World Cup before. Some of them are going to their second World Cup, others first. Injury problems, players are not in form. When you look at this team, where do you think this team can get to? Or what do you think this team can do for them to succeed in spite of all the challenges around the team?
Yeah, I think to what I see as a player or as an ex-player, when we were playing, I'll go back to what I said before. When we were playing, it's not that we're too good, but I think we have certain good luck and spiritual backing that protects the team. You know, and these things always comes with, like what I said about giving. When you're a player or you're a Blaster player, and I mean, you don't show love to the people that comes to cheer you up or the people that you used to know when you started, it becomes a problem. And these are the same people that make sure they pray for the team. Because sometimes we do, I mean, contribution and we do charity and all those things. So I want to see much of those kind of stuff in the new team, because I don't think this new team does that.
They do that enough.
Because let me tell you something. I mean, some of us, we are in Ghana, and excuse me to say, I can tell you that 90% of the people that watch these current Black Stars used to say they are stingy. Yeah, I'm telling you the fact. Maybe people will not have the courage to say, but I'm just telling you the truth. Because when they check Steven time, like our time, things are different. So you see, everybody wants to come, wherever the Black Star, everybody wants to come around.
Yeah.
And they make sure they show love. You get it? And this kind of love I'm talking about, somebody might like you, he will go to church, he's going to pray. He will use some of the money to do what? Pray for you. You never know. Yeah, so I mean, that's being my point. They have to work that side very well. Sometimes it's not about how good you are. It's luck. Ball is wind. Do you get it?
Yeah.
It's wind. Yeah. So
I don't know why you are so excited about the spiritual side. You are in charge of spiritual matters.
You see, Raymond says this all the time.
Yeah.
You see, it's not just
what is on the pitch. There are things you have to do.
But we know that even some of our more illustrious football nations, you know, they also have their And when this clip goes, because this clip will definitely go out, it will generate a very, very interesting debate, because they will say, who told you Spain, they won the World Cup? They did. But you see, and my colleague Atapoku, he has gone to school properly, but if you listen to him, and they will tell you that there's the scientific side. So the GFA have gotten extra technical team beefing up the Black Stars. Wonderful. The science, you know, Francis Abu is injured. They've done everything. But we are Africans. what is following us is different from what is following Spain, and their origins and they are everything.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
You understand? Me, I've not played football before, but I've heard from too many. I've been blessed to interview too many people from our beginnings as Ghanaians, as Africans, even at global level. You know, Marcel Desailly in Cote d'Ivoire, we had a small chat about some of the things. His French side and his Ghanaian side. He who was playing for the French national team before 1998, they cook some things for him from the Ghana side. To be captain, no, these are serious things. And one day when we probably get the chance to, and he feels like talking about it, he will talk about it. You know, the things they did for him at Akoto Lante, Odenke, his Ghanaian side, Nibi na ho ahale. Oh, nyama ye potoma no. Do you know what it takes to be captain of the French national team?
Yep.
As a black African, half French, half you know what I'm saying? So, look, I am the first person to be the proponent of tactics,
data,
science. Anybody who follows me knows. But I'm saying, you understand, that and even from the psychological point of view, Raymond, if you have, for example, if you are Otuado, or you were Milovan Rahivat, or you were who took us to the World Cup? Chris Hughton. No, not Otto. Or who else? Who took us to 2014? Kwesi Appiah.
Yeah, Kwesi Appiah. Yeah.
If even you don't believe it, we have Nathan. You have read and watched these videos of World Cup coaches, and sometimes it's not that they even believe it all. But if you watch the psyche of the 23 players, and most of them believe it, they just allow them to do their things.
Yes.
Do you know my first encounter with electronics? Okay. When they put up M Plaza Hotel, the famous M Plaza Hotel, not far from here.
Stop.
An aunt of mine or a family friend of mine was working as a front desk executive. That time we call it receptionist. And they had built it for us. It was the talk of town. And so she said, "Oh, make a come weekend." So my puppy a bath, you know. It was a whole excursion. I came to M Plaza. They took me to M Plaza. She was showing me the thing. We went to the 3rd floor or something. Daytime, but the whole place was dark. The curtains were drawn and everything. So I said, but I think my dad asked that, what's going on? And Auntie Karen said, "Oh, Timko, I'm a Jakongo, I'm a house of folk. I'm a fefe ni biye. Hey, that was my first. It was Motema Pembe. Motema. Look, this is what I saw. The Motema Pembe team were in a circle, seated quietly, and there was a candle in the middle on the table in their midst.
Where at the hotel?
At the hotel, yeah. Yes. 3rd floor or something. Floor, yeah. So like a lobby, foyer kind of thing. Yeah. And they were around there. And they were all quiet. Yes. Dead quiet. I think that something was, they were in a mood or they were in a trance or something. So we passed quietly and we passed and went there. So they were, then we heard, that was the first.
Good vibes.
Good vibes. What I'm going to say will make listeners laugh. Needless to say, House of Folk beats them.
They got absolutely layered.
House of Folk also did their homework.
I mean, as for the stories, there are so many.
That's my first encounter with proper cooking
chemicals.
Chemicals, spiritual chemicals. But I'm saying, look, Otuado may not believe in it, but
I think he does these days.
I don't know.
Because he goes for prayers.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You see, Otto himself may not believe in it, but if you are with people, part of leadership is also inspirational.
Yeah.
Remember, all these players who go and do their things in World Cup finals, their coaches may not believe in it.
Yeah.
If Didier Deschamps, when he won the World Cup, Paul Pogba, he's from Guinea. Some Guinean delegation came and they were cooking. He doesn't care. Yeah. All he knows is that Pogba. I say, play this way, deliver for me.
Yeah.
If before Pogba comes onto the field, he has to dance for 5 minutes. That is what you do for him.
Yeah.
So what Prince is saying there, me, Charlie, bro, I may not believe in it, and I really don't to a certain extent, but
he knows what he's saying. And he says that
you must believe in it.
he says that the game.
Because see, I want to use this opportunity to say thank you again for how do you call it? The way people really bashed Asamoah when he lost the penalty. There's one particular good thing he did that, I mean, people have not really realized because they were not part of the team.
Sure.
Everybody was happy that Ghana scored, how do you call it, USA 2-1. But if I should tell you what happened before Asamoah was able to score that goal, you'll be shocked. Because he was very sick. Wow. Before the game, he was very sick, throwing up. He couldn't even come to the morning shake up and all that. So we thought even he would not play. And even when it was confirmed that he would play, I was thinking that maybe he would play to maybe first half or middle of second half. It might be because Charlie Bomo, you could see that he has slipped. You get it? But he was able to push 90 minutes extra time to score. I mean, we need to appreciate him. But I know that day was the day I saw that Asamoah was ready.
He was ready to literally die. If he has to die, he would do that. Baby. Shout out to Asamoah Gyan.
Shout out to Asamoah Gyan.
Wherever you are.
Yeah, so, I mean, Koyoni.
Prince, thank you so much. Thank you so much for passing through. Really appreciate it. We should the very best.
The best segment of the show.
Yeah, this has been the best segment of the show.
I love it. Oh yeah, bro. No, that's why we bring them into the studio, because you see, when ex-footballers come into studios and you are able to get these kinds of things out of them, then it justifies why broadcasters spend so much money in bringing ex-footballers into the show. Of course, not all ex-footballers will come and give you
the inside story
about a show. They will give you this story, but these are the sorts of things that Gary cannot talk about, Nathan cannot talk about, Raymond Seydou cannot talk about, because while we were not there, two ball track will go down, so Charlie Prince, thank you so much.
Prince, thank you so much. You have to believe that. Ghana is just one of several African countries that have been to the World Cup. They've had the privilege of playing among some of the best countries in the World Cup. But the African story at the World Cup is a brilliant story, a story of heartbreak, success, the wild things, the strange things, but some very glorious moments that Africa has given the world in terms of the biggest football gathering. So here is a history of Africa's run in the World Cup, put together by the features team at Sporty FM.
Africa has had an interesting relationship with the World Cup. The continent first participated in the competition in 1934 when Egypt first qualified. It was largely uneventful. Egypt left without winning a game. The continent did not record a win at the World Cup until 1978 when Tunisia defeated Mexico. But Africa's most controversial contribution to the tournament came in 1966. In that year, there was no African team at the World Cup due to a boycott largely led by two men, FIFA Council member at the time, Ohene Jan, and Ghana's first president, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Nkrumah wanted to use football to unite Africa and had told appointee Ohene Jan to do whatever was necessary to put African football on the map. The late Jan, who was also a member of the Confederation of African Football, where he emerged as one of the two main figureheads in the World Cup fight, the other being Ethiopian called Tesema Yednekachew. In January 1964, FIFA decided that the lineup for a 16-team World Cup finals would include 10 teams from Europe, including host England, 4 from Latin America, and 1 from Central America and Caribbean regions. That left one place to be fought for by 3 continents, Africa, Asia, and Oceania. Ghana's director of sports, Ohene Jan, was not having it. He believed the continent's level had risen exponentially since the wave of independence and hence deserved a place of its own and not to battle it out with some other continents. In that period, Ghana was the best team on the African continent. The country was the reigning African champion, had beaten Kenya 13-2 in a commemorative game, and were just bulldozing their way past everyone. Due to the boycott, the world did not get to see the brilliance of the one-man orchestral Sir Kofi, the marauding rounds of Kofi Pare, and the effervescent shot power of Wilberforce Mfum. Another one of Africa's biggest stories at the World Cup happened in 1974. The Democratic Republic of Congo were the best team on the continent. Joseph Desiré Mobutu, also known as Mobutu Sese Seko, had seized power, had renamed the country Zaire, and was running the show. His football team was a representation of what he wanted to do with the country. In 1974, they qualified for the World Cup, and that is where the tough days began. Zaire were placed in a group with Brazil, Scotland, and Yugoslavia. In the first game, they lost 2-0 to Scotland, and then they were beaten 9-0 by Yugoslavia. Mobutu was livid. He could not understand how his team, seemingly the best on the African continent, were being battered at the world stage. So he gave them an ultimatum, one the players knew came with huge ramifications. Mobutu had sent communication to the team that if they lost to more than 2 goals to Brazil, they should not return to Zaire. A few minutes after the game had started, they were down 2-0. Playing with fear, the Congolese just wanted to avoid a third goal from entering their net. In the dying minutes of the game, Brazil got a free kick on the edge of the area, and Rivelino, who was the best kicker in those times, stood behind it. But out of fear, centre-back Elonga Imwipu stepped out of the wall and hit the ball away in frustration.
Well, what on earth did he do that for?
This sparked a crazy turn of events for the continent. The racism African teams faced after that was incredible. Mobutu Sese Seko stopped funding the soccer team and put all his money into boxing. That year, he hosted Muhammad Ali and George Foreman in the Rumble in the Jungle in Zaire. The continent was mocked and pilloried a lot until 1990. 1990 is arguably the year people started respecting Africa at the World Cup, and it was Cameroon who made sure of that. The indomitable Lions had gone into the World Cup as minnows, even though they had made a good account of themselves in a previous edition. Buoyed by the talismanic Roger Milla, they could believe in themselves. With players like Cyril Makanaki, Benjamin Massing, Francois Omambiik, Andre Kanabiik, and legendary goalkeeper Thomas Nkono, they knew they could do it. In the first game, they beat a Maradona-led Argentina 1-0.
Oh, the goal! Bielka scored! The Argentinian defenders just can't believe it. They were really caught out there. And Bielka, amazingly, has given Cameroon the lead. The Argentinian defenders just stood still then for the first surprise of the 1990 World Cup.
And then they beat Romania 2-1 and qualified to play in the next stage, where they beat Colombia with Roger Milla scoring twice.
Miller scores a goal for Cameroon. It's come from nowhere, from the man who has made the most romantic comeback of the World Cup, surely. Roger Miller.
The legends' waist wiggle celebration at the corner flag became one of the most iconic goal celebrations in the history of the World Cup. The Cameroon charge meant they had cleared the naive perceptions about African football, and people have started taking it a lot more seriously now. It was further entrenched in 1994 when Nigeria made the tournament in the United States of America and went on a similar run.
And here was a chance and a goal! Nigeria have scored!
In 2002, it was Senegal's turn to shock the world when they beat champions France in the opening game and made it to the last 8.
It was Daf who put El Hadjouf away, and they've got 2 striding up in the centre here. Bouba Diop is there! Oh, and Bouba Diop is there! And Senegal has scored the first goal of the 2002 World Cup after half an hour's play. Papa Bouba Diop! Oh, just look at this celebration.
Since the boycott in 1966, that could have been Ghana's turn at the World Cup, the country had to wait 40 years to make their debut appearance, and they did not disappoint. It was almost as if the world was waiting.
What a start to the 2006 FIFA World Cup. Germany.
Ghana went into the 2006 World Cup largely as minnows, even though the country had a very good team. Beaten by Italy in the first game, they beat the Czech Republic.
Apia, Jam, Montori. Oh, he's beaten Czech now. That was unstoppable by Montori.
And then the USA.
Reina's lost out here. It's Dramani. Goal for Ghana.
To qualify to the knockout stages, only to be swatted aside by Brazil.
To try and emulate Argentina. Is it going to be a great goal here? It is, you know. This is going to be one of the great goals of the World Cup. So many passes, so many great touches. And at the end of it, Zoroberto is through. And Brazil are...
In 2010, though, the Black Stars were back, on top of their game, and made it a step further into the quarter-final.
Now that's hooked forward. Here's a chase for Gian. He's 1-on-2. It is Gian. He's in the area. He scores! Ghana are back in front. A goal of individual brilliance from Samoa Gian. It's Ghana's night in Rustenburg. Wonderful, wonderful night, which ends in victory for Ghana by 2-1.
Only to be undone by one of the most unluckiest of penalty kicks ever in the history of football.
Kingston has to save it. They all stand arms around one another. It is Abreu. It's the cheekiest chip you've ever seen, and it's good enough to take the South Americans into the semi-finals of the World Cup. African hearts are finally broken in 2010.
There have been so many heart-in-mouth African moments at the World Cup. The joy, the pain, the heartbreak, and the utterly palatable. But one thing remains. There cannot be a World Cup without the energy this continent brings to it.
Wow, a collage of some of the biggest stories that Africa has told in the history of the World Cup, from boycotts in '66 to Roger Milla in 1990 to Danny Amokachi in 1994 to the great Nigerian team of 1998 to Ghana in 2006 and Morocco in 2022. Africa's history at the World Cup is a history of determination, of success, of a unique thread. Let me put it that way. Let me know your favorite memories of Africa's participation in the history of the World Cup for as long as you remember. 0542571061. Let's still move on. You're still listening to Sporty Road to 26. It's the official launch of the coverage of the 2026 World Cup from Sporty FM. 100 days to the World Cup. Gaza, 100 days.
100 days. And speaking of the African teams, obviously, you know, the 9 teams that are going, you have the list there.
Yes. It's an interesting list. So Morocco, Senegal, Algeria, Tunisia, Egypt, Cote d'Ivoire, Ghana, Cape Verde, and South Africa, with DRC with an asterisk by their name. If they pass the playoff test, they become team number 10 from the continent.
Right, and these teams this month will be busy, you know, with friendly matches. Morocco and versus Ecuador and Madrid. Morocco versus Paraguay. Those are the 2 confirmed for them. Cote d'Ivoire versus South Korea in London. Cote d'Ivoire versus Scotland in Everton. Ghana versus Austria in Vienna. Ghana versus Germany in Stuttgart. Ghana versus Mexico in Mexico City. That will be in May. And then Ghana versus Wales. We are told that one is cooking, right? By the Honorable Minister. So if that happens, that will be great. Egypt versus Saudi Arabia. That was supposed to happen in Doha. But, you know, all matches have been postponed. But they are quite confident that by that time, because as you know, even the Black Queens are playing today. In Sharjah.
Ladies Cup in Sharjah.
Yes, even though it's close to Dubai, they will be playing. So we are confident that those games will happen, those friendlies will happen. Egypt versus Saudi Arabia, Egypt versus Spain, also in Doha. Cape Verde, Chile, Cape Verde, Finland, Algeria, Uruguay, Algeria, Guatemala, Tunisia, Haiti, Tunisia, Canada, Senegal, USA, South Africa, Panama, South Africa, Panama. So South Africa will play Panama twice. Two.
It's a very important
They'll
game.
play them once in Durban and the other one in Johannesburg or so.
The Black Stars, the Black Stars selectors should be all over those two games.
Those two games, yeah. Yeah,
the national team selectors be all over those two games.
Yeah. So the Panama one.
Panama will go and do sandbagging. We'll go and do sandbagging, and then you not really see the full picture.
Yeah, but at least you are there.
But at least you've seen something.
You've seen something.
Yeah,
you see something. Yeah. So, these are the African friendlies ahead of the World Cup. In terms of preparation wise, unfortunately, with 100 days, there isn't much you can learn because, in as much as the Black Stars and Ghanaian fans are very worried about our team because of the injuries to key players, 100 days is a long time. Case in point. Over the weekend, the complexion of France's preparation for the World Cup completely changed with the knee injury to Kylian Mbappe. It changes so much. It changes so much. In the same vein, we can have some players going into a crazy run of form between now, the 3rd of March, and then the 11th of June, such that the Kudus, who is now coming into form, may have a player who can play in his position for maybe the first and second games, just in time for Kudus to be good enough for one game. Thomas Partey over the weekend, I was speaking to some people close to him about the rationing of games and what it is doing to him. And from all indications, even Villarreal are happy with that sort of arrangement, not in terms of his availability, because they would have wanted him to be playing at full pelt. But in terms of Ghana, he just may be peaking at the right time when the season ends at the end of at the end of May. Because he's now getting games. They are doing 30 minutes. So in about 3 weeks or a month, he can enter the 90-minute territory with Villarreal. And then by the time it gets to the time we need him properly for the World Cup, he may be in a good position. So it's too early to have an educated guess on which African teams to do. Obviously, the team that went into the AFCON give us the best indicators. In that case, we will say Egypt. Egypt were one of the teams that really needed the AFCON.
No, they did.
They really needed the AFCON because Egyptians did not trust the team at all. And even from the games, the way they played, Charlie, you don't have too much hope that Egypt will do much. No, he left them plenty. South Africa are a very, compact, cohesive, fluid side that you can say good things about. Algeria too, there and thereabouts. So the team that went to the AFCON, you had a fair idea of what they can do with the addition of a couple of players. As for Ghana, we were not there. So we need these.
We need the friendlies.
We need these 4 or 5 games badly. And I'm hoping that from the get-go, we are going to have the players that most of them will feature on the 11th of... Our first game is what, 17th or...
Yeah, about 17th.
Oh, yes, or whatever. We are going to have as many players as possible. Our colleague Danny Cranton at Joy Sports did a wonderful feature. He even spoke about it, about why he's not happy about the Mexico
game. Friendly.
Yes, because we need our first choice players in these games as much as possible.
The placement of that friendly is so odd because it's outside the FIFA window, so you are not going to get.
Even that doesn't happen, I'm hoping that the other ones, the Austria one, the Germany one, the Wales one, and whichever one we are told that we can get in the US, we will be able to get our first choice, first team players in order to be sure and ready and know what we can have some chemistry ahead of our first game.
Well, we do know that Africa has 9, DRC could be 10. Their playoff test is this month. We'll see how they pass that test. On the other side of that is this rumor that pops up every now and again about Nigeria. Are they going? So I said they are going.
I found a way to bring Nigeria into World Cup.
I'm just saying.
We are talking about World Cup. We are talking about Nigeria.
No, I'm just saying that that story fascinates me so much that every now and again, so you will read some story. They said they found something that eliminates DRC and puts Nigeria into the equation. I don't know. We don't know whether Nigeria will go or they won't go, but that's just on the side because it's a bit on a lighter note. Let's bring back Seydou Adamu. Seydou Adamu is still on the line. Said now I'm sure it's daylight in the US. Oh.
No. It's still for 4:50. 4:50.
4:50. It's 5 a.m. Soon the sun will be out. Anyway, Said, what can you tell us about where Ghana will be based? Because we found out last week that they would be at Bryant University. I don't know what do you know about that place, that venue, and what can you tell Ghanaians about where the team's camp base will be?
Well, so Bryant University is in Rhode Island, which is part of the New England, where we call the New England. There's 6 states that makes the New England: Connecticut, Massachusetts, Wisconsin, Rhode Island, New Hampshire, Vermont, and all those small states that are based on northeastern part of the US. And so I think the handlers of the team chose that place strategically because it's like a center of the places that the Black Stars will play their matches, because it's about 4 hours drive to Toronto. It's about 2 hours drive to Massachusetts, and it's about 3 hours drive to Philadelphia. I'm just comparing that to where the English team is going to base, because surprisingly, it looks like the English team is going all the way to the southwest, because they are going to be based in Kansas City, which is almost like a 6-hour flight from Kansas City to Philadelphia or to any of their venues. And I'm surprised the English team chose that venue. I don't know for what reason, but if you look at where Ghana chose, it's very central, very close. It also has a lot of West African population. The university is known for their sports. They have lots of sporting facilities, and as we speak, the community has even started a discussion with the Ghana FA to organize community engagement, where the FA would hold soccer clinics and other activities for the community. So I'm thinking that the FA looked at the proximity of the venue or Rhode Island to the 3 places that Ghana will play, and also its closeness to New York. I mean, it's close to New York as compared to other places, and so that they can have that West African and the Ghana vibe. So if you ask me, I would say it's a very good choice for Ghana. And also, if you look at the facilities they have what we would term as world-class facilities for a team like Ghana to use for preparing. In terms of their preparation for a tournament like the World Cup.
You are talking about distances. What can you tell people who are coming to the World Cup to think about as? Imagine somebody has all 3 tickets, right? The person has a ticket to Ghana, England, Ghana, Panama, and then Ghana, Croatia. How should they move? How are they going to move about? Because I'm hearing you talk about 2-hour drive, 3-hour drive, 6-hour flights, blah, blah, blah. Can you give listeners an idea of the kind of distances they will have to travel to watch all of these games? If somebody's going to watch at least 3 of Ghana's group, or at least the group stage of the World Cup.
Yeah, so it will depend on where you are based when you come to the US for the games, and this is where I would ask that if it is possible, people should not come individually, especially if it's your first time in the US. This is where I would suggest that it's best you come with Litina, not to be an ambassador for her, but I think in this tournament it's best to come in groups, where you know that accommodation, internal transport is secured, because internal transport could be very hectic for a visitor, like for a first-time person in the US. Because even though there's a lot of there's availability of transport, there's road transport in terms of buses, there's rail transport in terms of trains, there's lots of flights that move around. But if you are first time here, you need to get a credit card, you need to get an ID, because for you to buy a ticket, you need to produce an ID. You need to get an app. You need to register. It's cumbersome. So it's best you move in groups. Now, to look at the physical distances, I will take New York as the central point. And my suggestion would be that any Ghanaian coming individual should station at New York, especially if you want to watch the 3 group games, because New York looks like the central point to our 3 group games. New York to Boston will be like 2 hours drive. If you are driving, if you are going on the train, it will take you between 2 to 3 hours. If you are going by public transport bus, it will take you between 3 to 4 hours, depending on what kind of public transport or bus you are taking. If you are flying, it's very short. It will be like 30 minutes flight. From New York to Philadelphia, it's about an hour and a half drive. From train, a train can also take you about 2 hours. And depending on what kind of transport you are getting, it shouldn't take you more than 2 hours to get to Philadelphia. Then from New York to Toronto, that will be the very hectic. Even though the physical distance is about 4 hours drive, you have to cross the border. You have to go through the land border at Buffalo, which is upstate New York, and which is a little bit hectic in terms of if you don't know your way out. I don't know if there is a commuter train that goes from New York to Toronto, but I know there are buses that go to Toronto. I know there are flights that go to Toronto. So traveling would not be easy. And anyone that attended the World Cup in 2014 Brazil will attest to that. You know that Ghana played in Natal, Fortaleza, and Brasilia. And these are extremely long distance places, because Natal was all the way up north, Fortaleza in the middle belt, and Brasilia down south. And if you don't come in group, traveling individually is extremely difficult. So I would suggest people should come in groups.
Oh wow! I mean, that's a nugget. That's proper insight. I think you've detailed it really, really, really well. Maybe we'll have to share it, right, guys? We'll have to share this bit for people to know.
But that's why we are doing a countdown show, my brother.
Some people will know. That's what this one day will share it specially. This is.
There are so many legs to it, and again, having been in Brazil, bro, Charlie, you they travel, you know they finish. Charlie, Seydou, Nathan, what do you mean that I am in one country and I'm in a plane? In a plane, and I'm traveling 4 hours in a plane in one country. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
and that's easily the story of the US.
Yes. From Sao Paulo to Rio. What do you mean? Charlie, you know they reach. Hey. Wow. Yeah. So, and this was one of the bits of advice we were given when you know, in Brazil as well. That worked for us because I traveled with a couple, with a team of people who some of them we met, and you know, boys, and we just decided in a common sense way that, guys, it's best if we stick together in this thing, because all this you are here, this Portuguese thing, and you know there are various local nuances that if you are not from there, you will know.
Rio is different from Sao Paulo.
Yeah.
Bahia is very different.
They are very different culturally. You know, like. Their entire countries on their own with different characteristics. So we had a few Brazilians with us and so on and so forth. Like Seydou says, in addition to, you know, having a recognized travel and tour agency who have been there, have gone to do recce and all that, if you know people there and in that time they can hold your hand, please take that option. Like, it's so vital. And please, Guardians, I know we don't like doing this, but please plan. Ghanaians, I'm begging you.
We like the vibes too much.
No, we are begging you. Like, have a plan, please. Not just because it's America, but just because this World Cup is going to be something that is there. A baby, you know, it's going to be so different. So the taste is going to be so out of character, out of whatever. That have a plan, like try, make calls, ask people, go on the internet, look for information, be updated, because the way things are going, you know, there'll be traffic blockages, and there are going to be road closures, there are going to be diversions, even at the airports, there are going to be all sorts of new announcements that are coming. So even a month to the time, what you will know as being the norm along your travel path will change drastically with 3 days to the time, because a global event, something has occurred somewhere, and America are doing a lot of that. So I'll say, plead with people, please plan and keep listening to the news, global and local news.
Thank you, Gary. Before we wrap it up, sure. What can people expect from Sporty FM? To borrow the words of Peter Drury, we've lit the blue touch paper or whatever it says.
Blue touch paper.
Blue touch paper.
Yeah, so many thanks to everybody for following this Sporty Road to 26 launch. It was just to give people an idea of the big picture down to the smaller picture of the World Cup. And really, this is a teaser. We have done this for we said 90 minutes. We have done 120.
Yeah.
We have played extra time. And
we are going to the
penalties.
shootout.
Yeah, we are just doing penalty shootout and we are coming to the end. Between now and kickoff, day 0, all we are going to do is going to be along these lines, right? From the content perspective, expect amazing. You know, the Sporty FM team are going to dip into our well of experience, our well of creativity for features from the African side, the Ghanaian side, to keep you updated on what is happening elsewhere. You know, there are Black Stars friendlies that are coming. We will try to be there. You know, to be everywhere, to bring you the things that from a Ghanaian perspective. You see, the great thing about being Sporty is that you can tune into BBC and listen. They won't give you today's kind of show because they'll give you the global picture.
Yeah.
But they won't give you the local nuance. So you won't have your Seydou Adamu and Ifua Singaton giving you the Ghanaian side of things.
Yeah.
I did not know that the Canadians have a Canadian resident, a Canada-Ghana Residents Association who are now we know.
Yeah.
So now we can look forward to, if I am going there, you can plug into the event. So FIFA are going to have their fan festival. But Charlie, it's not going to
It's not going to pop
like the Ghana one. You see? So now I know that from here, I need to be calling the Ministry of Tourism and asking them that, Charlie, are you going to have plans of, if they are, then we are going to be inviting them onto the show here for them to come and talk about the various things that they are going to do. I know from being at the World Cup draw that Mr. Keto Kreku and the GFA also have a plan. I met some of the people they met, you know, in the various cities, and so I don't want to take the wind out of the GFA sails. The GFA are going to announce certain things by themselves to help Ghanaians acclimatize to having a good World Cup. The Ministry of Sports are going to announce certain things as well. We are here as partners to help them communicate that from day 100 to day 0. And then, of course, we are going to have raffles, promotions. Our commercial partners are going to be coming on, and we're inviting them that we are going to give them very, very, very good deals so that we can all enjoy the World Cup as well. Yeah.
Wonderful stuff. Seydou, thank you so much. I don't know whether you have concluding comments for us before we wrap it up.
Oh, no, I'm going to say it's going to be an exciting World Cup. Look, Gary has spoken about the Ghana-Canadian community, but I can tell you that there's a huge Ghanaian base in New York, and there's a part of New York that when you enter, what you hear is, hey, Kofi, hey, Kwame, and you feel at home. So it's not only about the Canadians. I would say that our three group games where they are based, and the central point being New York. Look, Ghanaians will feel at home. This is it's no doubt. So Ghanaians should come. Let's put our hands together, support the Black Stars, have an exciting World Cup, create opportunities. And I've said that, look, I have been here for at least close to 10 years. Most of the time when you go to these shops, sporting shops, you hardly see soccer stuff. For the first time this year, every shop you go, you see soccer stuff. You see cleats, you see footballs and stuff. It means that people are accepting that the World Cup is coming to the US, and this is the time for Ghana to also take advantage of all the goodies that come with it.
Wonderful. Seydou, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You've been very generous with your time. Enjoy the rest of the day, and we'll catch up soon.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Colleague journalist Seydou Adamu speaking to us from the United States. Gary Smith was in studio. Gaza, thank you so much. Raymond Yamado was here dealing with spiritual matters. Thank you so much. Many shouts to my production team, Immortal Kwame Jakwe Champon. Shout outs to Yao Fusula B. Kawawa for the feature. Shout outs to Fly. Shout outs to my DJ Fidelis. Shout outs to you, our listeners. Shout outs to Prince Tego, ex-Black Stars player. He joined us, very generous with his time. Shout outs to Alonso Cabral, who joined us from Mexico City. And Ifya Asantewa Dionum, who joined us from Singathon, who joined us from Canada. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. If you tuned in, wonderful. This has been Sporty Road to 26. Our 100-day countdown is officially off the ground. We've turned the hourglass and the sands are pouring into the bottom parts of the hourglass. And we'll keep doing this up until we have day 0 when the World Cup starts on the 11th of June. My name is Nathan Kwao. Thank you so much. We'll catch you later. Keep a dance locked on Sporty FM, not only because the World Cup will be here, but because we have all kinds of interesting programs for you to enjoy. There's a news at midday, Sporty Plug at 12:30, Sporty Drive at 4, and we'll have the afternoon belt also dealing with 100 days to the World Cup and matters arising concerning that important thing. Enjoy your day. Stay safe. Keep a dance locked on Sporty FM. We are the voice of sport.
Anything sports.